Okay, so a lot of people often ask this question when looking for a misting system, when looking for a misting system for their terrarium, and that is, which is better, the Monsoon by Exo-Terra or the Mistking system by Mistking.com. So what I decided to do, since I actually bought the Mistking system a while ago, is I got my hands on a Monsoon nozzle and hooked it up to my system. So it seems to work pretty well. The tubes that come with it are a little different, and it took some playing with to actually hook the splitter up to the other one. But I managed to get it on there, and it doesn't leak. So yeah, here we are. So onto the nozzles. The difference is here we have the Exo-Terra nozzle, which is fairly simple. I mean, it's just it's connected over here. Has two articulation points which make it swivel like a so, and like a so. Yeah, pretty fancy, I know. So yeah, you can pretty much get that pointing where you like. I like to have it about there. It's held on by some suction cups, or suction cup, if you will. Suction cup is really friggin' strong. I mean, I can pull on that quite a bit and it doesn't move. As far as suction cup goes, they really got this right. I like it. It's fairly thick rubber, and because the thing about suction cups, why I hate them, is they do dry up after about a year and a half or so, depending. I don't know if they're exposed to sunlight, blah blah blah, whatever. But so far these seem to be toughing fairly well, because I mean, this beast over here has a nice little habit of, crawling up here at night and, pulling on it and, crawling through, and, I'll maybe just find this falling down only about once every 2 weeks or so. So, it kind of lets you know how strong these things are. Which is why, for two reasons. One, the reason that I mentioned, I use the same suction cups by Exo-Terra to clip on my Mistking. Because they are so strong and I am so lazy. Because Mistking comes with this fancy-dancy little bolt-type thing on the nozzle. And what that does is, you can cut a hole in the top of your terrarium and pass that through, bolt it down, and, you will rip the top of your terrarium before this thing comes off. Yeah, once that's on, the only way you're getting it out is, unscrewing it or destroying the top of your tank. But as I said, since I'm lazy, Exo-Terra, thank you. Seem to be doing a good job. I use two over here, and I practically never find this one falling down. So onto the nozzle itself. Let's get a little focus so you can get a nice... it looks a lot more high-tech, right? I know. I got all excited when I saw it, too. Anywho, it's got 3 articulation points. One over here. One over here. And one over here, which gives you a little more play if you adjust it, but I mean, I never adjust it. Once I found, what spray effect I liked, that's pretty much where I keep them. People might do different things if they have, I don't know, chameleons or dart frogs, whatever. But, I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but what really is going to make you decide which system to go with is, of course, the spray itself. And there is a huge difference between the two. I don't like saying one is better than the other, because if I did think one is better than the other, I would have 2 of the same nozzle and not one of each. So I guess I'll just show you. I mean, seeing is believing, right? So let's see if I can just get this to turn on. There we go. So, starting with the Monsoon Exo-Terra nozzle, what you have is a nice thin stream with very large droplets. A lot of water comes out of this one, and it just, sprays it all the way here. And the Mistking is very wide and has very fine water droplets. It's almost like a fog, practically. Like, I mean, here's my hand, and that's the mist from the Mistking, and I mean, my hand's getting slightly wet over there. Yeah. So the reason why I have both is this is my soaker, what I like to call my soaker. So what it does is it blasts the water across the terrarium onto my hotspot, where all my heat lamps are hanging. So that's the part of my terrarium that dries up the fastest. So I want, the earth to get nice and wet down there. So, it won't dry up too fast, and, it'll keep the humidity going longer throughout the day. And I use the Mistking. This is going to raise my ambient humidity throughout the cage. So, it'll actually, what it actually does is, because the thin stream of large droplets going this way, and the mist going this way, it sort of makes almost like a vortex, like it swirls around like this, so it actually gets all the mist everywhere. It pulls the mist this way, while this is getting soaked. So everything is getting lightly soaked by the mist, while the hot spot is getting really, really, really damp and wet. Even up here on the log, it's starting to, drop up and stuff. So let me just turn this off before I flood my cage. There we go. So I mean, it was on for a couple of seconds, and it's really gotten, things are dripping everywhere. It's a really cool system. I like it. Now onto the systems itself. Since I have the Mistking system, I can't really show you the Monsoon, but I will tell you right now, the Monsoon is really cool because it's very simple. I mean, if you don't like playing around with things, if you just want something to plug in, pass the nozzle through, and, it'd be ready, go for the Monsoon. It's really simple. It doesn't take a lot of effort. You can have it programmed by how long you want to spray and between the time. So, like, let's say you want to spray 2 hours, 2 hours in between, 2-hour intervals for about 10 seconds. You can do that. You can make it spray for 20 seconds every, 10 hours, etc. The Mistking is for those like me who like to tinker around, because it's got this awesome, sweet ass electronic digital timer dealy. Oh, so sexy, I know. What is really cool about this, let's check this out. I have it. You can program it to do pretty much anything. So just a quick look of what I have here is every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Turns on at 10, and then once again turns off after 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Turns off at 10:02:30. So every day it'll spray for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then every second day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, turns on at 5, and whoops, went too far there, but anyway, it turns off after 2 minutes again. So what that does is once a day it sprays for 2 minutes, and every second day it'll get a second spray for 2 minutes, which tends to keep my my earth nice and more wet without really soaking it to disastrous proportions. Yeah, to which I start smashing things. No. Okay, so it's a really you can really have a lot of options with the Mistking. The other option is that here we have the pump, because I like to have my things all neatly tied and tucked away. As you can see, let's get that out of the way. Yeah, so here's the motor, and Mistking just comes with the motor, the nozzle, well, depending what system you have, but you gotta supply your own water reservoir over here. And so, I mean, if you're comfortable drilling holes and you can actually bolt that on so it doesn't leak, you have a lot of options. You can make a sort of water reservoir under your tank to drain if you have like dart frogs and you know, make like a real natural rainforest, blah blah blah. So that's kind of cool because I mean I have this huge bucket and I don't really have to fill it that often. Yeah, so obviously Mistking, more options. Monsoon, a lot simpler. For those maybe who are beginners, don't like, you know, tinkering around with tools and stuff. Just want something easy to plug in. So, hope that answers a couple of questions for you guys, and yeah, thanks for watching.